Let's see. Let's think about this activity as an IELTS question. I don't want you to put too much energy into it, but I want you to be aware that phrasal verbs are very important for the IELTS. So I'm looking for your usage of the phrasal verb speak up. And the question is, tell me about a time you were in a situation when you should have spoken up, but you didn't. All right. Tell me about a time that you should have. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Actually, when my wife wears something is bad, but she asked me if it's good. I think if I just say yeah, it's good.
And did not do so. Okay, so here's the question. Yes, I understand that your wife had on some type of clothing that you didn't feel was quite appropriate, but you did not speak up about it. Okay, so in response to that, as if it were an IELTS question, your topic should include maybe 2 minutes of conversation. Tell me about that, or you can choose something else. So I can give you an example. My son usually drives his car. He has a Ford Focus, and he likes to drive down the street with the music blaring, the windows down, and the wheels are just screeching. It is so irritating to me to hear that sound. There was this particular Sunday when he came home that I really needed to speak up about how this irritated me, but I didn't. I chose not to mention it because we had guests in the home, and I didn't want to embarrass him, not knowing what his response would be, and I didn't want my guest to feel uncomfortable with me scolding him. So that is a longer conversation using the phrase speak up. So I'm listening for your sustainability in being able to speak at length. Okay. So right now you're using the phrasal verb speak up in response to something. Okay. Try again. Okay, and this would be one day I was in my mother's home. One day I was in my mother's home. You said someday I was in my mother's home. One day. Okay, you should say yesterday. All right then. Yesterday No. It cannot be one day. Okay, so yesterday I was in my mother's home.
I was in my mother's home, and she asked me if there are any coronavirus cases that near from our neighborhood. But I didn't tell her the truth. I would up, but I was there. I told her no cases here are here from us.
All right. So what I understood you to say is that yesterday I went to my mother's home. My mother asked if there were any new known cases of coronavirus. I did not want to speak up about what I did know, so I told her that there was not any new cases. Is that about? Okay, so notice the way that I say what I say, and I'm saying it structurally correct in sentence form. Yesterday, I went to my mother's home, and she asked if there were any new cases of coronavirus that I knew about. I did not speak up about what I knew. I just told her that there were no new cases. Okay, so tell me the sentence that you wish to use with the phrasal verb speak up.
Yeah. Do you want to say the same situation?
Okay, so here's the thing. We want to
Yeah.
practice saying what we know correctly. Because if we go from one thing to another thing and we never get the first sentence correct, most likely we won't get the second sentence correct either. So here the goal is to try to get the correct sentence structure, right? So what did you do yesterday using the phrase speak up?
Yeah, I was in my mother home and she asked me if there are any coronavirus cases that near from us. I would confess, I would confess to them and I would speak up, but I didn't find cases here
Okay.
in our neighborhood.
Okay. Now, as you're speaking, do you hear the filler words that you're using, such as you need to focus on those. And the reason you're doing that is because, in my opinion, you're translating in your head. You know exactly what you want to say, but it is with practice that the words will come out of your mouth correctly. So slow down. If you do not know what you want to say next, just don't say anything. So your answer will be something like this. Yesterday, I went to my mother's home. While I was at my mother's home, she asked if I knew of any coronavirus cases in our neighborhood. I did not speak up and tell her exactly what I knew. Instead, I told my mother that there were no new cases. Can you tell me what you want me to know using the phrasal verb speak up?
Yesterday I was at my
Oh, stop. Let's stop. I'm going to stop you because this is a very short sentence that we're trying to say. You know exactly what you're going to say, but you're putting in those filler words. Now, it is okay to have some filler words, but not every third word should be a filler word. So, yesterday I went to my mother's home. Repeat, yesterday I went to my mother's home. My mother's. Okay. And she asked me if I knew of any new coronavirus cases in our neighborhood. Yesterday, I went to my mother's home and she asked me if I knew of any new coronavirus cases in our neighborhood.
Yesterday, I went to my mother's home and she asked me if there is any coronavirus cases in our neighborhood.
Okay, that's almost correct. Much better than before, but not quite. You still had a little bit of a filler and are and is. If you're talking about plural, it's are. If you're talking about one, it would be is. Yesterday, I went to my mother's home and she asked me if there were any new coronavirus cases in our neighborhood.
Yesterday I went to my mother's home and she asked me if there were any new cases, any coronavirus cases in our neighborhood.
Very good. And then this is when you pause. You pause. I told her, no, I'm sorry. I did not want to speak up about this. I did not want to speak up about this. No, I did not want to speak up about this.
I did not want to speak up about this.
And I told her there were no new cases in our neighborhood. Okay, now can you put all of those sentences together?
Yeah. Yesterday I went to my mother.
No, 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 those pauses are wrong. Okay, try again. Yesterday I went to my mother's home and she asked if there were any new coronavirus cases in our neighborhood.
Yesterday I went to my mother's house and she told me if there is coronavirus.
No, she didn't tell you, she asked you. She didn't tell you, she asked you.
Yeah, she asked me if there are any coronavirus cases in our neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. May I go to the
Yes, the next.
yeah,
I
I didn't tell her the truth. I didn't speak up with her. I told her there are no new cases in our neighborhood.
Okay. All right. So what I'm listening to is that I'm going to recommend that you get a recorder so that you can listen to what you're saying until you can say it clearly. Then that is the best way to improve what you're trying to accomplish.